Today, I will explain shape-shifting mother and son lovers transform into cat people to feed on innocent females, the movie name, Sleepwalkers. Please support me, sit back and relax, and don't forget to subscribe please. At the beginning of the movie, we see California with two police officers inspecting a horrifying scene where several cats are killed. They talk about the mother and son who have been missing and walked inside the house, only to hear a cry to which they follow and open the door. They find that immediately runs off. They're laughing it off when a body falls outside, which turns out to be a young girl who has the life sucked out of her. The scene now shifts to Travis, Indiana, where we see Charles, who is staring at a girl's picture named Tanya. He goes downstairs to find his mother Mary staring at the cats that have surrounded the house. With annoyance, Charles calms her down with the dance, and they seem rather too close. They talk about Tanya, who Charles is thinking of pursuing. Mary asks if she is nice, and Charles says that he'll find out. Charles takes her upstairs to a room. Next to her work, Tanya puts her earplugs on and dances to the music while cleaning. She gets startled by Charles coming from behind. They introduce each other, and Charles says that they both have the creative writing class together. Tanya is completely charmed by him, and he offers to drive her home, but she says that her dad will do it and they bid goodbye. After her shift, she rides with her dad and we see Charles spying on her. He goes back home, and Mary asks if he bought her something and Charles said no. She inquires about Tanya, and Charles says that he's sure that Tanya is pure. In school, Charles recites his essay on Sleepwalkers, impressing Tanya, but his teacher Mr. Fallows seems unimpressed. After school, Charles is offers to give Tanya a ride home, and she accepts. She introduces him to her mother, and they make plans to go on a date the next day. While riding back home, Charles is stopped by Mr. Fallows, who says that he sees through his facade, and remarks that all his documents are fake. When Charles tries to get out of the car, Mr. Fallows slams a door on his hand, and in return, Charles snatches at Mr. Fallows' hand, injuring him. He then snarls and shows him his true form, which scares the teacher as he screams in pain. He runs towards the woods, and Charles follows him. He easily catches up to him and ends up killing him, like some wild animal. After this, Charles begins speeding up. This grabs the attention of a police officer named Andy, who begins to follow him. The chase escalates quickly. When Charles almost runs over a little girl neglectfully, the officer finally catches up to him and orders him to pull over, but Charles flips him off with a smug smile. The officer's cat then growls at him, making him scared as he begins to shapeshift. This baffles the officer. While Charles drives off, soon he gets off the road and makes himself invisible along with the car. The officer stops in confusion as to how he lost him so fast. While the cat could see Charles and stares at him despite his annoyance, the officer drives off in confusion, and Charles gets out of hiding. Now with his blue car turns red. At the station, Andy talks about the incident with his colleagues, who try to assume some logical explanation for the situation, and Andy also begins to believe them. He says that he will find the guy and walks off with his cat. Back home, his mother asks why he didn't bring anything. He says that it's not the right time, and his mom exclaims that she is starving and begins to hit him. She notices a wound on his hand and worriedly stops to examine. He says that it has started again, and people will find the teacher's body in the woods. He is worried that his mother will starve to death if something happens to him, and says that they might be the last sleepwalkers left. Mary dismisses this and assures him that everything will be all right. She says that he will feed her tomorrow, and then they will leave. The next day, Tanya leaves for the date, and her mother reminds her to be back by 5. Mary, who is annoyed and hungry, stitches Charles' wound. When Tanya rings the bell, Charles says that they should leave, but Mary invites Tanya, and Charles grows impatient to leave. While his mother shows Tanya around, she puts a rose in Tanya's hair and wishes them luck. They reach the destination, which is a cemetery. They wander around and have fun, while the car goes back to its original color. After fooling around a bit, they fall and Tanya takes a chance to kiss Charles. For a few moments, it feels like Charles has feelings for her, but he soon begins to suck the energy out of her, which spooks the girl. She pulls away and Charles becomes hostile and shows his true form. She manages to grab the camera and smash it on his head. Instead of running though, she gets closer to him, thinking that she has killed him, but Charles gets up and again pins her down, grabs a pointed object and attacks him. In the eyes he only gets a little injured, and says that she is ruining his shirt. She hits him again and runs off, screaming for help. The sheriff finds the car from yesterday and pulls over. Just then, Tanya comes out, asking for help. She is freaking out and tells him that they need to leave, but Andy decides to investigate. Charles comes from behind and attacks the officer. He begins to confront Tanya again when Andy gets up and shoots him. Charles is still unharmed, which surprises Andy, and Charles takes the chance to shoot him back. He is about to approach Tanya again when Andy's cat, Clovis, begins attacking Charles. This allows Tanya to call FO help through the deputy's radio, and Charles manages to drive off. The cat then sorrowfully moans his owner's demise. Charles gets home to an excited Mary, who thought he would bring her food. She is upset to see his condition, and brings him in. She says that the officers might be coming to her house soon, and asks him to go invisible, but Charles is too weak to do that. Mary promises to take care of everything. Back at the cemetery, Tanya is being questioned, and she says that they came in a red car, but Charles left in a blue one. The deputy does not understand her, and she asks them to take the camera reel, as it has Charles's pictures. They take it for evidence, and Tanya gets taken back home. Meanwhile, Mary is trying to treat Charles, whose condition keeps getting worse. Charles says he might die, which upsets Mary. She soon hears the police siren and uses her powers to make the car invisible. She asks Charles to stay quiet. While she takes care of this, she manages to make both of them invisible. Before the officers enter the house, they fail to find anything of importance. In one of the offices concludes that Tanya is bluffing. Back at her home, Tanya's father, Mr. Robertson, is scared that she has been in the bathroom for hours, but her mother tells him to let her take her time. Her father talks to Tanya, and she tells him to call her when the sheriff gets there with more information. At Mary's house, the officers are keeping a watch when they see a door open and get alerted by an invisible Mary gets out of the house, scaring them. Just when they have their guards down, Mary kills them. In Robertson's house, they hear the doorbell ring. The officer, who is staying there for protection, tells them to let him see who's there and peeks out the window to see a police car parked outside. He instructs the father to let them in. He opens the door and comes face to face with Mary, who has a vase of roses in her hand. She bashes it on his head, making him falls on the floor, and proceeds inside, casually complimenting the house. She pushes the officer down and demands the mother call Tanya. She says that Tanya tried to kill Charles, and he is badly hurt. The mother says that she hopes Charles dies, prompting an enraged Mary threw her out the glass window. Tanya hears a commotion and gets downstairs calling for her parents. The officer gets up and tries to shoot Mary, missing every single time. He runs off. As soon as the gun goes empty, Tanya gets to her father, and Mary grabs her. She tries to let go by scratching her face, but it only enrages Mary, and she knocks Tanya down. Back at the office, the sheriffs are inspecting Charles's pictures, which are all blurry. They get a call from the officer from Tanya's house. He informs them about Charles's mother and says that she might have killed Robertson. Mary sneaks up on him and stabs him with an ear of corn. Then the scene cuts to the streets, where numerous cats are seen running towards Mary's house. More officers get to the Robertson house, and one of them orders Mary to put Tanya down. She blasts the police cars, injuring all the officers, and proceeds to take Tanya through another cop car. Tanya wakes up and tries to get out, but Mary manages to silence her. They get to the house, and Mary is scared to see hundreds of cats surrounding the house. She smashes the car inside the house and takes Tanya in. Tanya says that Charles is dead, but Mary doesn't believe it. She plays his favorite song through telekinesis, forces Tanya to dance with Charles, uses her powers to make Charles move. Soon another sheriff reaches the house, and Clovis the cat breaks into the house. Meanwhile, Charles gets to his original form, freaking Tanya out, and Mary encourages him to feed on her. While he is doing so, Tanya tries her best to kill Charles, but only fatally injuring him. Clovis then charges Mary, and she throws him aside, but more cats barge in, attacking her. She manages to injure the cats, but the sheriff shoot her. Mary then takes her original form, and the officer runs outside, taking Tanya along, who is freaking out that she killed Charles. Mary catches them and throws the officer away. Tanya gets into the police car, but Mary smashes the window and begins dragging her out. The sheriff throws the cat trap on her, which enrages Mary, and throws him on the fence, killing him. Tanya watches all this while trying to get the car started. Mary again goes to attack Tanya, but Clovis barges into her, followed by all the other cats. Mary gets severely injured and ends up dying before Tanya's eyes. She dies while blaming Tanya for killing her only son, or should we say, lover. Anya begins to cry and Clovis comes to calm her down. The movie ends here. Thanks for watching.